Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. In today's video about Mortal Kombat 1, we're going to be talking about practice mode and how to use it properly. So practice mode, if you want to learn your fantasy combo, sure, you have to head in here anyways, right? But practice mode is so much more. And to use practice mode properly will make you much better at the game. But some people don't know how to use practice mode properly. They don't know what to look for, and that's exactly what this video is all about. Actually, many things you'll learn in this video are going to be applicable for every fighting game. You can take what you learn here, apply it to Street Fighter, apply it to Tekken, apply it to Guilty Gear, but we're going to talk about this in a Mortal Kombat 1 context. If you want to get good at this game, you have to use practice mode, and learning how to use practice mode effectively will dramatically up your overall knowledge of the game and dramatically up your win percentage as well. So that said, let's talk about practice mode and how to use it properly. Now, our first quick tip about practice mode is actually do the tutorial. Seriously, if you do not know a lot of the concepts of the game, this will teach you a lot of the concepts of the game, and it's actually really good at getting into advanced concepts as well. I've gone through a lot of it, and trust me, the game will teach you how to play it. I know a lot of y'all have been playing the game and not looking at the tutorial, but trust me, it's a good one. Check it out. So now the proper tip before all the tips is always when you're going in training mode, always before anything else, go into practice settings, go to frame data, and turn on frame data for both characters. All this information, the numbers it gives you, is absolutely invaluable. And even if you think you know everything, it'll still teach you a thing or two that you don't know. Learning the various numbers, how fast moves start up, how advantage or disadvantage they are on block, their active frames or recovery, their everything. These are the actual numbers that make everything in the game go. Understanding that strings might have values that are not immediately apparent, like say this string is negative, but this string is positive on block. These are the things you need to know. So just even if you're going to mess around, right, only look at it every now and then, just seeing the numbers at your disposal at any given moment is absolutely critical, absolutely invaluable. Always turn it on when you enter training mode. So now let's talk the critically important art of hit confirming and its many layers. So like any game, you want to hit the cool combo, right? That's kind of the goal. We want to hit our cool combo, get the damage, do all that stuff. But there's a big problem in your way, a big roadblock. The enemy's not just going to let you do it. If I block your nonsense and you just went right for the move, your combo is now my combo. And for many beginner players, that's exactly what I'll see. They're going to do whatever leads to their combo specifically, and they're just going to go right for the gusto, go right into their special move. And if it gets blocked, the majority, not all, but the majority of special moves in this game are punishable on block. If it gets blocked, the enemy will get a combo on you. So ideally, what we call hit confirming is the idea. We see our hit, and if the hit gets blocked, we do not continue on to our special move. We will confirm the hit. If we see the hit, then we'll go into our special. But if we see a block, we stop. And how do you teach yourself that timing? Because it's easy to say, but sometimes without proper trigger discipline, it's less applicable in a real match. But in training mode, there's the way to practice it and make it very easy. So in our menu, we're going to go to opponent type. And there's a bunch of dummy settings here. And specifically, we're going into block mode, and we're setting it to random combo. So anything that is a proper string, the enemy will randomly block or not block. We don't know. So didn't block that time, did block that time. Did block that time, blocked again, didn't block, right? You simply cannot know if they're going to block or not. And that's exactly what we want. So in our example mini combo here with Liu Kang, right? So if we get the hit, we go for the combo. But now the enemy's going to randomly block. We don't know. And now the idea is you keep practicing over and over. When you see the hit, you go. If you see a block, you stop dead in your tracks. You're teaching yourself this trigger discipline live. Consider it this way. Every time you hit and get the combo, you succeed. Every time you block and you went for the combo still, you failed. And this is simply a matter of both muscle memory and visual confirmation. You'll get to recognize what a block is, what your move looks like when it gets blocked, and teach yourself to stop when the move gets blocked and to go when it connects. This is something that is applicable for every fighting game ever made. Mortal Kombat just as much as anything else. This is a skill you need to learn. It's applicable for everybody. Once again, if you see the hit, you go. And if you see a block, you stop dead in your tracks. Also, this is where the frame data is very applicable. If you're looking for those hit confirms, moves that are less negative on block are more preferable. So say Liu Kang 1-2 here is 0 on block, so you're both exactly neutral with each other, versus forward 4, which is -3, so it's more negative. So if you can go for a combo starter, all things being equal, the ones that are less negative are better, and stand 2-2 is just straight up plus on block. It's your turn versus you lose your turn on forward 4, right? So knowing the frame data helps here. Now that in mind here, there's more layers of hit confirming. So now let me teach you about 2-layer hit confirming. So a 2-layer hit confirm works on much the same way. We see if the enemy blocks or not, but this time we're doing 2 different things. If we see a hit, we do one thing. If we see it blocked, we do another thing. So we're going to use Reptile for 2-1 for this. It's a very strong string, fast mid starter, and leads to combos on hit. So if we see it connect, we can go right into a force ball and get a combo. So that's great, right? So if it hits, that's the best case scenario. We want to get for the combo and get our damage in. But if it's blocked, it's -6, which, is not punishable. So that's good, but we're just, literally touching the enemy. So decidedly it is their turn. They get to decide the pace of the match. But he does have a follow-up string from 4-2-1, which is 4-2-1-1, which is -7. So it's technically more negative, but notice compared to this, the amount of pushback it creates. So Reptile is now further away, and then it safely can just walk out of moves, and specifically for Reptile, he can walk out of moves, and if they press a button right away, he can go right into back 3-2 and punish them, then get a combo anyways, right? So on block, this string is much more advantageous. So the idea is this. If we get our hit, we're going to go into a force ball and get our combo, and if we get blocked, we're going to hit 1 again, and then push the enemy back and keep us more safe. And once again, we're going to take our block mode here, and we're going to set it to random combo, and then we're just going to practice it out. All right, so, got a hit. Force ball, get a combo. Force ball, get a combo. Block, hit 1, push him back, be safe. 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 Hit, got a combo. So, once again, we do not know what the enemy's going to do, if they're going to block or not, right? But we're 2-layer confirming it. So on block, we hit one button, and on hit, we hit a different button or do a special move. And once again, you're going to find situations like this applicable for the whole cast, like Rain, stand 1-1. So stand 1-1, if it connects, we can go into a launcher, and then we can get a little bit of a combo going. That's fantastic, right? Get the damage in. And on block, 1-1 has a follow-up, 1-1-2. And 1-1-2, what it does is it pushes the enemy out. Leaves us completely neutral, gives us that space, lets us abuse our range. So it's generally very advantageous for us if they block it, right? So if we see 1-1 get blocked, we can go right into 2, push them out. So once again here, set to random combo. We do not know what the enemy's going to do. We're going to use our stand 1-1. So here we go. Launch, combo time, because we got a hit. Push them out with the block. Push them out with the block. Launch, combo time, right? So it's character to character. Certain characters have different strings, different buttons, different things they want to aim for, right? But hit confirming is super key, and 2-layer hit confirming is extra key, because you always want to be the most advantageous, right? If the enemy blocked, that's not ideal, but if they did block, you want to make it as good for yourself as you possibly can, and the 2-layer hit confirm helps that out a lot. Find your character, go through your move list, see what you got, see what string enders there are. Usually the first 2 hits are the ones you want to hit confirm with. And the string enders, maybe you want to use them on block, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to use certain special moves on block. Like Rain, once again here. Can hit confirm into a combo, but on block? Okay, screw this, I'm out of here, right? Like, I don't want to deal with that, right? So, these are the kind of things you need to practice. Make up some scenarios in your mind, head to the lab, try it out. Now, another very important aspect about using training mode in fighting games is using recordings properly. So what is a recording? Well, it's pretty simple. So we can go here, we are an opponent type. We got a lot of different tabs here in the opponent type. And one of them is playback recording, and we see you have a lot of slots here. So we're gonna do this here, start recording, and now we're controlling Reiko. So if we enter whatever buttons here, and we're done recording, he will now mimic exactly what we did. And being able to practice against certain attacks is very invaluable, to say the least. Like, for example, now we have a recording. Reiko is doing back 3 into the shuriken toss. And, it's annoying. It's a natural combo. And the thing about it is, how do I deal with it? How do I beat it? Well, knowing how some of the mechanics work, these are highs. So if I block, say, the first hit, can I duck the highs? Yes, I can. And now, thanks to just practicing against the bot, we have learned this. That's fantastic. So now done up close, I know now, thanks to the recording, I can duck it. Now I can pop them back. That's great, because normally a lot of people, if they notice there's any kind of gap between things, they'll try to armor through it. And against Reiko, with his multi-hitting move, not as applicable, turns out. And of course, you can record any old thing. Like let's say here, just a simple jump attack. So if you want to practice your timing against jumps, like say a particular character has a jump that's annoying you a lot, record them jumping and attacking you and seeing how you might be able to defeat it. Maybe it's a simple uppercut. Maybe you learn some fun character-specific tech, like say rolling under a jumping attack and then potentially getting a full combo. This is also where you can teach yourself some of the more esoteric aspects of the game. Like certain characters stand ones at certain ranges against jumps are actually fantastic anti-airs. So you can teach yourself to practice against this in like a somewhat live fire situation. You're going to do the move, you know it's coming, sure, but they're still going to attack you, so you have to learn your way around it. And one of the more invaluable aspects of recordings is you record multiple things. So Reiko is doing his ground and pound, and he's going to walk up and sweep us right after the fact. So that is a low block. However, as you see, it's multiple recording slots, right? So I can record a second one where he's going to go for the ground and pound, and instead of going for that low, he's going to walk forward and do his overhead. So now, as you can see, goes for the ground pound, we'll go for the overhead. And we can set it so the CPU will randomize between the two. So now you can see here at the top, it says 1 and 2 in the middle. So it's playing the first one, so this will be a low. And then when it resets, it'll go to number 2. And then now we'll know it'll be an overhead, right? So we can have them play out multiple scenarios at the same time. Now what will make this extra powerful here is go to your settings and specifically go to the playback trigger. So you can now set them to random and random hidden. So now you do not know the order they're going to play out at all. And you just have to guess, right? So will it be low? Will it be overhead this time? This time I blocked low. I got hit by the overhead. And now I just don't know. So basically it's up to me to react appropriately. So if you are, say, struggling against a mix-up scenario, doing multiple recordings, setting them to have random hidden playback, and then just set it up properly, and then you will force yourself into the live fire scenario. Will you guess right? Who knows? But this is a way to train yourself to guess right. So this will help you out in terms of reaction and just like pure animal speed, right? The more you put yourself up against a scenario that's like a mix-up scenario, the more familiar you come against it, and the more familiar you are against it, the better you'll be able to deal with it. So basically beat yourself up and you'll reap the rewards later down the line. And this is thanks all to our pal, the recording. So now just a couple quick tips here before we get to the next section. So when you're in practice setting, once again, please turn on frame data. It's probably to your advantage to turn cameo and super to refill. So you'll always have full gauge to play around with. And when you spend the meter, it'll basically drain for the duration of a combo. But the second the combo would be over, then it'll regain back to full. So you can technically do infinite combos if you set it not to refill, but to, well, infinite, like full. Like when it's set to full, we can just do things that aren't normally possible. So if you want to mess around and like do weird things, that's also fun. Sometimes it doesn't always have to be like deadly serious competitive play, right? Sometimes you want to lab the weird stuff. So playing around with full meter, that your meter will never run out, that's a good way to do it. Also, not necessarily training mode, but while we're in the menus anyways, controls, you should definitely turn release check off to get more precise inputs. And your input window timing here should either be short or medium, but definitely don't have it long. Long is the default. Long will make you do things you don't plan to do. You'll get special moves you never intended to pull off. So set it to medium or short. It does technically make the game harder in that you'll have less time to do special moves, but you'll also get much less mistakes. Personally, I use medium. Some people use short, but just don't use long. Also, while you're in the menus, you can set your positions. So say normally we default to center, but if say you want to practice specifically like say a corner combo, you can set them to the corner, and that just makes life easier than when you always reset in the corner. You can also change your default reset distances. So normally we're set to default. You can set them to say reset to full screen every time you reset training mode, or conversely, you can set them to close and you're just right beside the enemy. So if you're practicing certain scenarios or whatever, keep these settings in mind. They're very, very helpful. So a big part of fighting games is imposing your will. That's how you win the game, right? And naturally, your various moves are how you do it. But sometimes certain moves have weaknesses you may or may not be aware of. And that's where we need some education to help expose that. Like say Johnny 212, great move, fantastic move even, right? Launches the enemy, is an overhead, so they have to stay on block. When we turn our frame data on here, it's even safe on block. What's not to love? An overhead launching string that's safe on block? That's great. But it has one fatal weakness that the game doesn't tell you out of the gate if you don't know to look for it. And this is this part of the video. We're going to be looking at what moves have gaps and how do we find out what moves have gaps. So we're heading again to our menus, custom dummy, bottom of custom dummy is reversal mode. And you can see here, on off, well, we're going to set it to on. And for Garrus specifically, we're going to have enhanced denial. Enhanced denial is his armored reversal. And here's what it is. When we attack him, if there's any kind of gap, the first moment he can do his reversal, he will. So say stand 1-1, there's no gap in this move, so he'll wait till the move is over and then do it. But if we go back to that 2-1-2, well, there you go. That's the weakness now, isn't it? So between 2-1, that is indeed airtight. So no problems there. But if we go for the 2-1-2 ender, that part, there's a gap. So you can stick something out between that. Now, specifically for this gap, it is only an armored move that can go through it. It would hit too fast. However, still now, if the enemy knows this, they went in training mode, they tested all the various strings, now they know the weaknesses, they will find out they can stick something in between the 2-1 and the 2-1-2. So now, this is where it very much behooves you to go through your entire move list and just test everything out manually. So when we do our various strings, sure, 2-1-2 has a gap. So we get blown up. 2-1-4 though, there is no gap. So if the enemy is mashing a move through the gap that might be there, you can do a move that you know is airtight and blow them up for it. Same again here, Johnny example, 1-1-2, airtight, no problem. So you can just kind of go for it, and if it gets blocked, whatever. But 1-1-4, big gap. Big gap. And knowing the weaknesses of your own offense is super key, because you better believe your enemies are going to be learning your weaknesses too. So once again here, find a reversal, set it on, and just test out your whole move list. And also, if you hate a particular character, test out their move list too, and find out what has holes and what doesn't. So now we're going back in time a little bit. We're going to be using the recording feature, but specifically gaps. Now I've learned through the feature we talked about, finding out all the gaps, I learned Baraka in this move has a gap in it. So specifically, after the first two hits, before the third one starts, now that I know there's a gap, that means I can blow it up. And that's just thanks for going through the move list, testing everything out, seeing what the computer will and will not react to when they try to reverse through something. And hey, I learned there's a gap there, because, you know, that's a move everyone's complaining about right now. I learned there's a gap there, so that's my moment, my time to shine, to try to stick something through. Another thing you can do while setting the reversals is you can also set it to cameos. It doesn't have to necessarily be the actual character. So here we have cameo Sub-Zero showing up, and you notice the flash here? So when done as a reversal, cameo Sub-Zero actually makes the opponent invincible for a brief moment when doing the shoulder. So Rain 4-2-1. Actually, there is a very small gap between the first and second hits. So now, you can see here, with the power of the cameo, Kenshi is just reversing through it invincibly and blowing us up. So defensively, that's great. So if you're using Sub-Zero, that's a really strong defensive option. Now, also, this will teach you how to blow up those situations as well. So forward 2-1 has a follow-up here, with 3 as an ender, and it is simply too slow. We will get hit. So now that we know there's a gap they can do some cameo invincibility through, that sucks for us, and we can't stop it. But say if we change our offense and go for a special move instead, this is a little faster, and if we know that's a threat, we can do this instead and beat out their invincibility. So this kind of stuff also teaches you how to get through gaps and defeat your enemy, but also you can teach yourself, now that they know that you know that they know that you know, that you can counterplay and try to beat their comeback scenarios as well. So training mode is great. You know, you got to practice your combos. You even got to practice the stuff that you'll never do in a real match, just because why not? Just to prove that you can do it, right? That's a big part of fighting games in the end. But yeah, it's very key, and what I'm showing you is just the tip of the iceberg. Yes, there's a lot of great things, Practicing hit confirms is great. Practicing dummies, just recordings that attack you so you can learn how to defend yourself. That's also great. Sometimes you should just go for a live fire, fight the computer. One of the things here when you're fighting the computer is training mode, right? So there's no rounds, there's no stress of winning or losing. You can just kind of fight, see how things work, all that kind of thing. You know, that can be very helpful, especially if you're new and beginning. Do not have to deal with the stress of round over, match over. Just play, just fight, see how the flow goes. That can be very helpful as well. If you want to get good at fighting games, and this is applying to every fighting game, not just Mortal Kombat, if you want to get good at fighting games, you have to hit in the training mode. Some people spend more time in training mode than others. I'm definitely an example of that. But even if you only spend a couple hours, trust me, a couple hours will be vastly beneficial to your game overall. You will learn so much. There's stuff you can learn in 10 minutes in training mode that you can't learn in 10 hours of just grinding matches. So training mode is your friend. Use it, love it. Everyone who's serious about fighting games, even if they don't spend forever, definitely spend some time in training mode. It's here for a reason, and it's here to make you better at the game. That all said, though, that's the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Mortal Kombat.